Hello, this is another Star Wars Armada Explained. I'm Karnik. Today I'm going to be redoing the Ordnance Pods Ordnance upgrade because there was a couple of interactions that I had missed with that card. I want to make sure I was covering. So Ordnance Pods is a card that's equipped to the Ordnance upgrade slot. How can you tell? You look down there in the bottom left hand corner, you'll see the Ordnance icon. This card costs 3 points. Ordnance Pods can only be equipped to medium or large ship only. The card reads, at the end of your attack step, you may exhaust this card and choose one of your hull zones. Then perform an attack from that hull zone with an anti-squadron armament of 1 black die, even if you have already attacked from that zone this round. So this card is great for if you're in a fighter heavy area and you're wanting to try to put out a little bit more extra damage onto fighters. So this card, how it works is, say this MC-75 for example, he has already shot at some of the squadrons with using one of his attacks to do an anti-squadron attack already. So let's say that somehow he's already managed to put 2 damage on this TIE fighter and Mauler, and we'll say this TIE fighter. Now, for Ordnance Pods, it's at the end of your attack step. So it's after you've done the 2 attacks that your ship can do, or your 2 attacks that your ship can do. And again, those attacks can either be, from any arc at any target, either at the front at a ship or at the front at squadrons. There is a certain interaction with gunnery teams we'll go over in a second. But essentially, as soon as you're done, at the end, you exhaust this card, and now you can make an attack from one hull zone with an armament of 1 black die. So that means you can only shoot at what is at close range, this black circle around your ship. You couldn't hit anything in the blue circle. Because again, that 1 black die, that's your only armament. Even if you have the ability to add other die to your pool, you can only make the attack with what your initial pool has, which is 1 black die. And the reason why I state that is because, for example, if we were to use this card to shoot out the front, we would be able to hit that TIE fighter there. We could hit Mauler Mithil, but we wouldn't be able to hit that TIE fighter there because he is not in range. He's just barely out of close range there. So what are some other interactions you can do with Ordnance Pods? Or actually, before I get to that, this card does have one clarification. I'm going to read it. It says, Ordnance Pods. This card's effect allows the ship it is equipped to perform an anti-squadron attack against each eligible target in the chosen hull zone's firing arc. What does it mean by eligible target? Well, obviously, it's only against squadrons that are unobstructed, that you can reach. Even if your ship, for example, had a blue die in its armament when it makes a normal anti-squadron attack, remember, Ordnance Pod says you only make an attack with 1 black die. So you can only reach what you can reach at close range. What are some other cards that interact with this card? For officers, you have, for example, for the Imperials, you have Agent Callus. His ability is, if you are attacking a unique squadron, you can add 1 die of any color to your attack pool. So when you're making that attack, like for example against Mauler Mithil, because he's a unique squadron, you roll that initial 1 black die, and then with Agent Callus, you then add 1 die of any color to that attack pool after that. If you're shooting at any unique squadrons, though, or any non-unique squadrons, you're shooting at a generic squadron like this TIE fighter, Agent Callus does not come into effect. For the Rebels, they have General Draven, and General Draven reads, while attacking a squadron with counter or intel, add 1 die of any color to your attack pool. If Dengar is around and he's giving counter to all these guys, well, he comes into effect as well. So then you can shoot and add a die to each of these guys as well. What are some other interactions? Surprisingly, for an Admiral, Admiral Akbar comes into effect here. What does Admiral Akbar say? Before a friendly ship's attack step, it may choose to attack from only the left and right hull zones this round. If it does, it may add 2 red die to its attack pool while attacking a ship. How does that affect Ordnance Pods? Well, when you activate the ship, you declare, I'm only attacking from my left and my right hull zones. I cannot shoot from my front or my rear for this interaction with this card. Meaning if you used ordnance pods, you couldn't select your front or your rear arc to be able to shoot. You have to choose your left or your right hull zones. So that's an interesting interaction there. The final one, and part of what that clarification is in regards to, excuse me, just a little sick, is gunnery team. Gunnery team reads, you can attack from the same hull zone more than once per activation. That hull zone cannot target the same ship or squadron more than once during that activation. And guys, the cannot is an absolute, meaning that if you had used your MC-75 and used one of your attacks to shoot squadrons out of your front hull arc, and then say you use that second attack either to shoot a ship or used your side hull arc, for example, to shoot more squadrons, then you couldn't use ordnance pods to then shoot the squadrons again because the cannot is an absolute. It overrides it. It makes those targets ineligible to be targeted by ordnance pods. Now you could, for example, shoot out your front and only shoot, for example, half the squads, and then use ordnance pods to shoot the other half. I guess I don't see why you would want to do that, but that is technically you could do that. So yeah, lots of things to consider with ordnance pods, but that is Star Wars Armada explains for that. So thanks for watching.